So now, Diana, of course, the hallmark of most news pieces is you have a stand-up.
Yes.
It's your opportunity as the presenter or narrator or anchor person or correspondent to put your signature mark on this. Oftentimes a stand-up is done where you don't have picture or something, so you're describing it. You may have some facts or some statistics, or maybe the close of the piece, where you say, it's Dr. Bob Arnott reporting from such and such a place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one, and then you're going to do one.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions about how you do it?
Well, I'm guessing you're supposed to have a script already in your mind. You have what you're going to say before you actually start doing a stand-up, such that you don't waste a lot of time on location doing so many takes. So the fewer the takes, the
So you've
better.
been there. You've watched all those painful takes and retakes, right?
I have digitized the tapes of journalists out in the field, and I see how many takes they have to do. Yes.
So you know how painful it is for the poor cameraman who's sitting there watching this stuff go on and on and on.
Yes.
So make it simple, from the heart, own the material, and remember, don't think about yourself or your performance, think about the material.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Bob Arnott in the Kibera slums outside of Nairobi. These are some of the biggest slums in all of Africa and some of the most impoverished. Poor water quality, one of the biggest dumps any place in the world. Little accessible health care, terrible nutrition, and not much economic opportunity. Today we're going to look at the story of a woman who was stoned to death for stealing a dress worth less than $1. Okay, Diana, it's your turn.
I'm Diana Nekoe at Kibera, right outside Nairobi. We're here to report about a lady who was stoned to death, unbelievably, just for stealing a dress worth less than $1.
This is the on-the-fly stand-up or recap. Oftentimes, you really don't have a chance to set up a tripod, set up the whole shot because, it's dangerous, stuff could get stolen, you could get hurt, and you don't want to attract a lot of attention. We both operate in lots of places where there's secret police services. And what this does is, again, because a lot of documentaries, it's my pet peeve, just had a lot of B-roll, goes on and on and on. There's no motion, there's no narrator, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a recap. It's sort of like, when you're watching Survivor, they say, hey, we were just in this contest and this happened and whatnot. So it's really very much the same idea here. You don't want to overthink it, and it's not a sort of two-camera presentation. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob.
And hi, I'm Diana.
Right, exactly. It's just very informal. So what we're going to do is I am going to have you shoot me
Okay.
doing it on the fly stand-up.
Using the
And then-
5D camera.
And then you're going to do one.
All right.
So we just come up from Kibera here, and this is one of the more dangerous places in Nairobi. There was a woman who's actually stoned to death here for stealing a dress worth less than $1. It's not that dangerous. We're getting looks, we kind of hear things, people wondering what we're doing here. So I want to do this kind of stand-up really quickly and get out. So now, Diana here, this is one where you do not want to be self-conscious. It's okay if you stumble. You can stop yourself. You can collect your thoughts because, after all, you're in a dicey situation. And also because you're in the heart of your material, you're reacting to your material. In other words, you almost become selfless. You're not thinking about, oh, I'm going to make a mistake or I'm worried about my performance. You're concerned about the welfare of the people you're reporting on. So that's where your passion comes through.
We have been on location now for, let's say, about an hour, and it's beginning to be tense amongst the people here in the Kibera market. I'm thinking we need to pack our things up and go back to the studio. So we have been reading about the security issues in Kibera. It really gets not so safe in the night. Time like now, people have to start thinking about their security. It's not safe to walk around Kibera at night. I'm thinking we need to pack and leave now.
And the end of that was heaven. I think we ought to pack and leave now. All right? Just kind of owning the line. You're not trying to project to people. It's just me. It's Diana. I'm vulnerable. I'm out here. I'm worried. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
The next classic documentary shot is what we call walk and talk. Yeah, it's a great way, Diana, to sort of get people comfortable. You put somebody in a chair and they make it a little stiff. This way you're actually with them. It's conversational.
Yeah.
And you also put people in a setting. So behind us here, it's an amazing shot of Kibera, right?
Yes. Yes.
So it's you know, great for the audience. We want to be careful when the sound goes bad like that.
Yeah.
You do need to be wired. And for a walk and talk, I like a pretty wide lens. So this is actually a 24 millimeter lens.
Yes.
And I want to have a pretty deep depth of field, so I might be f8 or f11 on this.
So you have the settings.
Right, so I'll actually set this up so that I've got Justin here. Oops, sorry. So, key is very, very slow.
Yes.
And as you walk backwards, you want to make sure not to fall. And sometimes what we'll do is actually hold someone's back. So let's stop for a minute here.
Like.
I'm going to give you the camera.
Yes.
All right. You're going to go ahead and be shooting back up the hill like this.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is to walk backwards.
Okay.
But I've got your back so you don't fall.
So I'm like shooting like
Right.
this.
Stabilize it backwards, smooth. So you're coming backwards like this. And you want to keep, you know, both people in focus like this.
Yeah.
And it does take some practice because you could fall into a hole or trip on something. But you want to practice the great shot.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wire both people for sound, deep depth of field. You set your exposure in advance. You want to be careful not to be getting too much sky and whatnot. But it's really a wonderful way of being able to get some of the narration in a very natural setting.
Yeah.
And you know, with documentaries, they can look awfully dull if it's just paper with B-roll.
Yes.
But by throwing into the walk-and-talk, it gives you kind of an exciting element. And, you know, it's interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk uphill here,
Yeah.
and you're going to interview me.
So today we have Dr. Robert, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions.
Right?
Tell us, Robert, what inspired you to come and start doing this story? To start, the story behind this is just showing the students how to film. But what made you choose Kenya as one of the locations and Sudan as another location? What caught you in these places for you to deem it fit for your students to show them, you know, the basic camera essentials for backpack journalism?
The tragic thing about television is, you know, you have reality shows and,
Yes.
you know, lots of popular culture, but very little about the terrible tragedies that unfold around the world, especially in this part of the world. Tragically, Sudan, Somalia is an example, the genocide in Rwanda. So I actually, when I was exactly your age, worked here in Kenya. I was at Kakamega General Hospital, Mumias,
Yes.
and when I saw little children die out there completely unnecessarily of diseases that were easily treatable,
This hospital
easily
is
prevented,
very
it's something
typical
I
of third world countries as opposed to first world countries. And it's definitely a stark contrast to what you would be used to.
Look at this scene here. This is unbelievable, isn't it?
I want you to take note of the
people on a bed.
sandbag. That's traction. That's their
It's
version.
really great to have you here with us today. We thank you so much.
And you're so, you know, they should hire her.
I'm just mimicking what I see on TV.
But
Oh
this
my
is so good,
God.
honest to God. Listen, if you want to hire Diana, we'll give you your email. You're spectacular. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.